Alright, so in part 2, we're going to cover basically layer blending modes and make another abstract image. But instead of just using one, I'm going to put a couple on top of each other, just so you get the idea of how that works. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and open up this image. Hit open. Great. There it is. Okay, so first thing we do usually is take it right, go ahead and duplicate it, change the names, and then do any kind of destructive editing that you might need to do. So in my case, I have these little pieces of grass, right, that are in this image that I'd rather wasn't there, just because it ruins the illusion, right? But imagine I did a good job. If you squint, you can kind of picture it in your head that I did a good job. Okay, we'll call that good. All right. Now it's good. Now it's good. Okay, good enough. All right, so we have this image there. Honestly, I kind of like this one on its own. You can see it's got an interesting, like a positive and negative space. It's got this, these lines that are being kind of drawn across, and you're following it, but it's broken up. It's got kind of a yin-yang-y kind of feel to it. So I think, it's kind of plain, but at the same time, it also kind of works from a compositional kind of standpoint, right? So, but let's make it more pizzazzy. So we could do things like we did before. We just use those adjustment layers, or we can actually apply the layer blending mode. So I'm going to bring in another. Oh, actually, I did that. The other thing we got to do, I forgot, is we need to create the what do you call it? We need to crop it. So let's go to here, click the crop tool, and 6:9, and let's see. Oops, other way. It's going to go up a little bit. We'll say to there and hit enter. Okay, so now we've done the first part here. That's all good. Now I'm going to do is open up the other picture I'm going to put in there. And I don't remember what it was now. Oh, now I remember. It wasn't one of these. It was this one. I'm going to open up this one. Boom. Okay, and make sure I turn the cropping off. I want to take this picture. I want to put it into the other bit there. So I'm just going to Control A for select all, or you go to select all, and then Control C, or go edit copy. You should start to remember Control C and Control V, because that's copy and paste. You're going to use it a lot, like not even here, just in life. Okay, and then here I'm just going to go ahead and do Control V. All right, now it's pasted. Now the thing I'm going to do is I want to make this non-destructive, and I need to rotate this and what have you. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to convert this to a smart object. So I do that by right-clicking and go Convert to Smart Object. Now, I can't do anything destructively like I did before when I did the heel brush or anything like that. So if you want to do that first if you need to fix that photo before bringing it in. But once you bring it in, it's a good idea just to go ahead and make a smart object. That way, I don't accidentally ruin the picture in some way. Okay, so now with this selected, I'm just going to hit Control T for Free Transform, or you go to Edit, Free Transform. And I'm just going to hold Shift as I rotate. And I'll bring it up here, and kind of like this part of it. We'll go with that, right? So that's kind of cool. It's got kind of broken up. I mean, it's not great, but it is what it is. All right, so we'll call that good. Now, again, you could use your adjustment layers and all that other business. I'm not going to in this case, but you could. What I'm going to do instead is show you these blending modes. So I'm not going to go through and explain what every one of them are, because quite honestly, what they're based off of is math. That's why if you look at them, you'll see you'll see multiply, right? I think isn't add one. I thought add was one. Difference, subtract, divide, right? There it is. Linear dodges add. They're based on math. Now the results, they kind of will give you a description. Now, if you are curious about it, and maybe you should be, what you can do is if you go on my site, I put a right underneath where I describe what the adjustment layers are. There's a section here that says layer blending modes. If you click on this link, I might put it in there too, but if I don't, and it'll give you a Word document, and it'll explain what each one of them are, okay, and what they do. Some of them you're going to be using a lot. There's some of them I use all the time. I know exactly what they do and how they work, because the results are very predictable, but a lot of them are not. You put one image on another, and you're like, oh, that's not what I anticipated it would do. Really, the best thing you can do with this is actually just to play with them. The nice thing is, as of 2019, you used to have to do it, and then you would click off and see the result. And it was really annoying because then you have to click on it, click off. Now it does it real time. So as you choose them, you can actually see the results, which is huge. Makes it way easier. Anyway, so what I want you to do for this, if you do decide to put another one on there, is literally just go to the top, right? Dissolve, actually, what that one does is, because it's kind of weird, I always kind of wondered this myself. Basically what happens is that as you take the opacity down, what it'll do is it will like create noise, and that's how it sees through, as opposed to if you just have this on normal, it'll be perfectly blended. So that's why Dissolve does that, but it's based on opacity. You have to have your opacity down on the layer that you put it on. Anyway, so I'm going to click on here, and then literally just hit, just click down and see what you get. Be like, oh, that's kind of neat. Like some of them, like when you do multiply, what it does is it keeps the black of the above image, the dark value stay, and anything that's white will become see-through. And then screen does the opposite, where it'll keep everything that's white, but everything that's black will be removed. So some of them like you kind of use a lot, but I would just click down through and be like, okay, do any of these, any of these speaking to me? Do these bring me joy? That was kind of cool. Pinlight I kind of like too. That one's really interesting. Oops, why did you go all the way up there? Divide, okay. Oh, because my mouse is up there maybe? Subtract. Subtract's kind of neat. Alright. But you could try throwing an effect on these. I don't know which one I like more, linear light or this one. This one I can, see, I like the shadows in this one better, but I like this one's, like that you can see the top better. I think I'm going to go with this one because I'd rather be able to see what's above it. Okay. So there you go. Now I have this effect. Now, because this is a smart object, see, I made a smart object. If I want to do anything where, like, let's say I want to blur it or something, I can go to my filters, and you're going to see some of these won't work, like the lens blur one doesn't work. But I could do like a Gaussian blur, and if I wanted to blur this out, this picture, you can see I can do that, because I feel like it feels a little noisy with those little dots. Actually, let's do this one instead. Filter, where are you? Sharpen. Come on, give me the options. There we go. And, oh, that wasn't it either. Noise, there it is. And dust and scratches. And take the threshold down a little bit. This will just kind of clump it a little bit more. Oh, whatever. Oh, okay. But you'll see that now that effect is right here. It's a smart filter, and I can turn it on, or I can turn it off or put it on, depending on how I feel. And I can always just click on this little thing here, and hang on a second, sorry about that. And then I can see it here, or I can delete it. Yeah. So you can add any kind of effects there. I can also go ahead, and if I want to add some things here, like maybe what I'll do is let's see. I don't know. I don't see anything in here. I'm really like, maybe take the vibrance up, right? That's always a good one to do. And I'll just up the vibrance. So now it looks more achromatic, kind of interesting, or chromatic, sorry, thing. So it adds a little bit more color to it. But yeah, that would basically it. But so I just suggest looking through these and seeing what works. And then you can mix. So if you have like just not great abstract images, like like mine aren't that great, I don't have a problem with you mixing two and just using the layer blending modes. But everything we've done has been non-destructive, minus the heel brush stuff where we're cleaning up some of the grass. Yeah, so that's this one. So this one's relatively quick. And then the last one we're going to do is going to be the text image, and that one's going to be a little bit. If you want, also, just as a reminder too, like if you're happy with just the one photo and just doing a couple adjustment layers, just go with that. That's fine. But if yours isn't good enough, like if you don't like it enough, go ahead and try mixing another one on top of it and see if that works. So you're either going to just do a single photo or a mixed photo. That will be one of the images that you submit. And then the other image you're going to submit is what we're going to do in the next video. And that's going to be a text-based image, which is going to be using what we did here, but adding another level onto it. See you in the next one.